to find me a solution to release all of this.
Hey everyone, Dr. Waite here, that chiropractor that gets you moving here in the East Bay. And today we're going to be talking about something that affects a lot of my patients, heck, most of my patients to be perfectly honest, and that is mid-back mobility and mid-back stiffness. Now, if you're like most of my patients, you probably work at a computer or drive a car or do another activity like working in a kitchen or even as a cashier where your activity, your job makes you do stuff in front of you. Now, for most people who are doing this for hours and hours and hours a day, they tend to adopt this kind of forward hunch posture. Now, when we do that, and it's happening for hours a day, multiple hours a week, multiple weeks per year, multiple months per year for multiple years, then we tend to get that very stiff mid-back area. The great news is that today we're actually going to be showing you some exercises and some stretches to get that mid-back area moving a lot better so that you can feel better and get back to the things that you really enjoy doing. So come on with me and let's get moving. So the first exercise today that we're going to be doing is called a lumbar locked out thoracic rotation. So what that means is that we're basically going to do some rotations, but we're really going to focus it on that mid-back area. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get down on your knees just like this. You're going to sit back on your heels, and you're going to bend forward, putting your elbows against your knees. You can have a little kind of TP like this. You can put your hands in a little triangle just like that. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to put our elbows against our knees, and we're going to sit back on our heels. Now what this is doing is this is locking out that lumbar spine, and it's allowing us to really isolate that mid-back area. Now to start, I generally recommend that you kind of anchor yourself or put something solid next to you, because oftentimes when people start doing this exercise, when we try to get that rotation in, instead of getting the rotation, they shift to the side. And we're really not wanting to do that compensation for that movement. So we want to make sure that we're kind of anchoring ourselves against something and keeping ourselves from doing that sideways shift. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to sit back on our heels. We're going to put our elbows against our knees. If you can't quite get your elbows there, then feel free to put them a little bit ahead. But we want to just try to do our best to lock out that low back area. So again, we're going to come back here. You're going to take your hand. You can put it in two different places. You can put it right behind your head just like this, or you can put it behind your back like this. I like to do it right behind my head. And what we're going to do is we're going to start here in this kind of neutral position. We're going to turn our head at the same time that we are rotating our mid-back. We're going to come back this way and then turn the other direction. So we're going to come up just like this. We're going to come back down and go to the side. So again, we're just really locking out that mid-back area. So kind of from the front, what we should be looking like, sitting back on our heels, bring our forearms just like this, putting our hand behind our head, looking toward that side that we are trying to turn to, looking there, and then turning upward, just like this. Coming back, and then upward just like that. So that exercise was for our rotation for our mid-back, right? But we also want to be able to extend that mid-back backwards. And the reason we want to do that, right, is because we have all of our stuff in front of us. So we tend to have this kind of hunch posture. We want to go against and kind of correct that hunch posture there. So what we're going to do is we're going to, it's kind of what it looks like from the side, having a chair that you can, has a little back support on it that you can kind of use to be able to stretch over is really helpful. So we're going to put our hands behind our head just like this, kind of support our neck, and we're going to lift our arms up toward the ceiling. Now as we lift our arms up toward the ceiling, we're going to lean back as far as we can go. And we're going to do this multiple times, kind of hold it at the end and come back. So lifting those arms up, leaning backward, and then letting that body just kind of fall and get that mid-back area really, really extended to kind of counteract that hunch that we've been doing throughout the day. Now, the last one that we're going to do for you today and show you here is one that I've already posted on my Instagram, my social media, but it's one that I really, really like, and you can see almost immediate results when you do this exercise, as far as how loose you feel and how much you're able to rotate and side bend in that mid-back area. So we're going to get a dowel rod or a broomstick. Anything that is not going to bend is going to be very solid. We're going to bring it up and over our head, right? Kind of up like this. We're going to bring it back down. So you're making a little W with your arms just like that. We're going to sit up nice and tall, kind of put our chest up toward the ceiling a little bit, right? Get nice and tall. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn our body till we find that spot that feels really sticky. Then we're going to side bend toward that side. We're going to come back up. We're going to go a little bit further, side bend toward that side, and then get just as far as we can go to that side, and then side bend, just like that. And of course, do all these exercises. If we're doing it on one side, we always want to do it on the other side as well. Now, if you are someone who feels like your mid-back is pretty stiff, but you actually want to know how your rotation looks, and if it's really a functional rotation, then we can do a full body rotation test, and you can actually do this at home. So what you want to do is you want to have a mirror in back of you. You guys are going to be my mirror right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to stand with your feet maybe like 2 to 3 inches apart, hands by the side. And you're going to look to the left, and you're just going to turn your whole body as far as you can go to the left. Now, if you look in that mirror and you can see that opposite shoulder coming through, you're good on your rotation. But if you go one way and that shoulder is back a lot further, and you can't really see it in that mirror, like I did going to the right, then you have some decreased mobility, some decreased rotation, either from the hips or from the mid-back. Now, for a lot of people, it's both places, but we already showed you some hip stuff last week, and we showed you that thoracic stuff this week, so that you can be a lot more mobile and have a lot more functional mobility, so that you can decrease your risk for injuries in the long term. All right, everyone, I hope that those exercises were helpful for you. Do them every day for the next couple weeks and see how much your mid-back changes and how it feels. That tightness that you've been feeling should melt away, or at least start to melt away. Now, of course, if any of these exercises cause you pain, make sure that you give us a call here at Alameda Chiropractic and Ergonomics so we can get you in for an assessment and we can get you moving, feeling, and functioning a whole lot better. That's it for me today. Of course, like, follow, share, and all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one.
Find me a solution to release all of this